stand up and let's get started, shall we? Bob? Right on.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, מזמור שיר ליום השבת, מזמור שיר ליום השבת, מזמור שיר ליום השבת.
טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, מזמור שיר ליום השבת, מזמור שיר ליום השבת, מזמור שיר ליום השבת.
עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון בכינור, עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון בכינור.
כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידיך ירנן. גלו מעשיך, מעשיך אדוני, לעוד עמקו מחשבותיך, לעוד עמקו מחשבותיך.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, מזמור שיר ליום השבת, מזמור שיר ליום השבת, מזמור שיר ליום השבת.
עלי עשור
עלי עשור
ועלי נבל,
עלי נבל,
עלי יגון
עלי היגיון.
עלי עשור
עלי עשור
ועלי נבל,
עלי נבל,
עלי יגון.
עלי היגיון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, מזמור שיר ליום השבת, מזמור שיר ליום השבת, מזמור שיר ליום השבת.
Shabbat Shalom,
Shabbat Shalom.
and welcome to Shabbat Koleinu, the Shabbat of our voices, the Shabbat of our song. We're so blessed that when we have 5 Fridays in a month, we do a few times through the year, Andrew Davidson selects a particular composer, musician, musical style, help enhance our worship tonight. And many of us know Bob Remstein for the last year and a half, 2 years? I know this is
Almost 2 years,
almost 2 years
year and a half.
now. So Bob has been our extraordinary accompanist. What we might not know, however, is that he's also an extraordinary composer as well. So Bob, we are very grateful to you for sharing your music with us tonight, which means that a lot of the music tonight will probably be a little bit less familiar. So we invite you just to enjoy the music, the voices of Cantor Davidson and our choir. Thank you all for being here. Of course, when you hear some familiar pieces of music, it'll be interspersed in between. Then please do lift up your voices. But we are just really grateful that everyone is here. Cantor, I can't think of a time when on the Friday before New Year's Eve we've had this many people here. So
It's wonderful.
So thank you, Bob, for giving us this opportunity to fill the house. But it is still Shabbat, which means that we will be going through our regular liturgy and our prayers. This is not a concert. This is a Shabbat service. And as we enter into Shabbat, we do so with the kindling of the Sabbath lights. It's my pleasure to invite Eve Edmond, representing Sisterhood, to lead us in the blessing. We are on page 121. Page 121.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu להדליק נר של שבת.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Shabbat shalom.
On page 123, I invite you to please stand if you are able as we join together in singing Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu בשבת קודשו, באהבה וברצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר לציאת מצרים. קיבלנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון L'chaim.
So there are, at least for me, a lot of unfamiliar faces here. So for those who are here fairly regularly, and even if you're not, please do take a moment to reach out to those who are around, introduce yourselves, welcome them to Temple Bethel, say thank you for being here, greet everyone.
It's been so long since I've been to a Shabbat service, and I've only been to one here, and it was one like this that was not normal. So, like their normal stuff, their normal songs that they sing, their liturgy, like I'm used to, Temple Judea in whatever it's called. Yeah. And they do it different. And it's funny, because I'm like, oh, wait, no, I do know that word. That sounds different. I don't remember how it goes.
So remember on this song, we're doing the tag and on page 6.
Is the short answer with the tag? Okay.
I have it marked in. We'll see if I can remember if that's what I mean by it.
Right.
That's really weird because it didn't say.
You can take a seat. How good and pleasant it is when brothers and sisters dwell together, and how good and pleasant it is when the rabbi gets to sit in the congregation, which I'm going to do for the next bit of time. So enjoy, participate, celebrate.
הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hine ma tov u'ma na'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'ma na'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hallelujah. We continue now with the beautiful words of Lecha Dodi, the poem of Shlomo Halevi Alkabetz, pages 138 and 139. We will be joining in verses 1 to 5, and when we get to verse 9, we will invite all of you to stand and face the doors through which we entered. וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, בשם ולתפארת ולי תהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת לקראת שלה, לך דודי לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה ומחשבה תחילה.
לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת לקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת לקבלה.
We continue with Chatzi Kaddish on page 144. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, וילמד יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב במהרו אמן. יהי שמירה במבורך לעולם עולם מעל מאיה, יתברך יתברך וישתבח, ויתבר ותומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה תאמיר עליה במהרו אמן. Page 146. ברכו את אדוני המבורך,
ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
ברוך אדוני המבורך thank God for the evening with the words of Mari Varavim, or these words as interpreted by Bob Remstein, Borein Yom Valayla. Borein Yom Valayla, Borein Yom Valayla, Borein Yom Valayla, גולל אור מפני חושך וחושך מפני אור גולל אור מפני חושך וחושך מפני אור בורא יום ולילה גולל אור מפני חושך וחושך מפני אור גולל אור מפני חושך וחושך מפני אור בורא יום ולילה This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back, my brother? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light. Borei Yom Valayla, Borei Yom Valayla, Borei Yom Valayla, Borei Yom Valayla. Let's read together at the top of page 151. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Chaed. Please be seated. We continue with the Ve'ahavta on page 154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha ve'hayu הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. That melody not by Bob Remstein, in case you were wondering. And the next melody is also not by Bob Remstein, as we turn to page 158 for the Geulah, the Song of Redemption, the Micha Mocha, as set to music by Deborah Lynn Friedman. Yai lai lai la lai la 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 lai, yai lai 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 la 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 lai, yai lai la lai lai yai lai la la lai, yai la lai lai la 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 lai. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, Torah tehilot oseh v'eleh, Torah tehilot oseh v'eleh. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקי הים לפני משה. זה לי ענו ואמרו, זה לי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, תורת תהילות אוסף ולב, תורת תהילות אוסף ולב. יא לי לי לה לי לה 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 לה, יא לי לי לה לי לה 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 לה, יא לי לה לי לה יא לי לה לה לה, יא לה לי לה 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 לה. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. We turn to page 160 for Hashkivenu. This beautiful melody that Bob wrote in 2010 for the Max Helfman Institute and for our dear friend and colleague, Cantor Phil Barron. This beautiful melody that to me really demonstrates the beauty as well as kind of the eeriness, if you will, of night entering in. As we listen to our incredible quartet, I invite you not to follow along in the words. You've never heard me say that before. But I invite you to close your eyes and meditate and be enraptured and surrounded by the Sukkot Shalom, God's canopy of peace.
Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom. Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu
מלכנו לחיים. העמידנו מלכנו לחיים.
השכיבנו אדוני, אלוהינו לשלום. השכיבנו אדוני, אלוהינו
לשלום.
ורעש עלינו סוכת שמחת. ופרוס ופרוס עלינו סוכת
שלוש שלומך, והגן עדיך, והסר עלינו, העמידנו מלכנו לחיים.
Tonight our souls fly far. In our dreams we leave this plain. Guide us home, home at dawn.
השכיבנו אדוני, אלוהינו לשלום. השכיבנו אדוני, אלוהינו לשלום. אלוהינו
וביום השביעי, Shabbat Koleinu. On the seventh day, God gave us the greatest gift, the gift of Shabbat, which we celebrate with the words of Vishamru, page 162. Vayom hashvi'i, vayom hashvi'i, vayom hashvi'i, Shabbat vayinafash.
ביום השביעי וביום השביעי וביום השביעי שבת וינפש.
ושומרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת ברית עולם.
וביום השביעי, וביום השביעי, וביום השביעי, שבת שבת ויהי נפש.
ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. וביום השביעי, וביום השביעי, וביום השביעי, שבת ויהי נפש. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ.
את השמיים ואת הארץ.
וביום השביעי, וביום השביעי, וביום השביעי, שבת ויהי נפש.
וביום השביעי, וביום
שבת ויהי נפש. שבת ויהי נפש. As we enter into the tefillah, I invite you all to stand if you are able. We enter in with the words of Psalm 51 as set by Cantor Natalie Young. And once we have completed the Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, I invite you to continue silently as the choir and I share with you Bob's song of thanks, Modim Anachnu Lach. Adonai Sfatai Tiftach. Adonai Sfatai Tiftach. Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Ufi Yagid Adonai Sfatai Tiftach. Adonai Sfatai Tiftach. Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Please pray silently through page 181, and when you have completed your silent prayer, then you may be seated. Adonai לעולם ועד.
Thank you.
That are in your
We
hands,
thank
for
you.
our souls that are in your care,
We thank you
for your miracles which happen every day, for the valleys we give thanks. Modim anachnu lach, modim anachnu lach, she'ata hu Adonai Eloheinu le'olam avotenu ve'imotenu le'olam le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim le'olam. לברך את עמך ישראל ואמין בכל עת
As we lift our voices in song tonight, celebratory song, we still think of those whom we love who may not be able to experience such joy because of illness or suffering that they are experiencing. So we take a moment to offer a prayer of healing. Vishaberach L'Refuah. If you need the words, you can find them on page 371 of our prayer book. For all those who are in need of healing, before we sing together, if you'd like to stand or get my attention for a moment and share the name or names of those with whom you are praying tonight, I invite you to do so now. Olivia? Olivia?
Tamar Davidson, Adam Still Raven, and Sinka.
Brooklyn Monshine. All those who we named and those whose names we hold in our hearts, we pray together.
The words are on page 371.
May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofei HaCholim. Blessed are you, God, whose healing presence is with all those in need. Amen. So, Bob, can I invite you to come up to the bima, please? So often you get to see the back of his head. It's time you see his Shana Punim. So I thought I'd invite Bob up so that we could have a little bit of a dialogue, so that you could get to know him a little bit better.
because I know that many of us know that Bob is the man with 20 fingers, because he truly is. He brings more music out of that instrument than perhaps anyone ever has. And for that, all of us are always eternally grateful. And, but the partnership that I've been able to create with Bob over the last 19 months, 18 months, whatever it is, although we've known each other a lot longer, is such a blessing because it's not often that a cantor and their accompanist can create this incredible musical synergy together. Oftentimes the accompanist is pretty much told what to do, and I know it's not a good thing, right? and the cantor continues to do things the way the cantor has for all the years that the cantor has been doing their work. And one of the things that Bob and I talked about initially when Bob first came to start with us was that one of the reasons why I wanted him was to have a partner in this musical journey that our congregation goes on each and every holiday and Shabbat. And oftentimes you may notice that Bob and I kind of look at each other at the end of something and go, that was really good. Because sometimes we're not quite sure what's going to come out of the other one. But what I know about Bob Remstein is what is in here. And what is in here comes out through his fingers and through his pen when he is writing this beautiful music. And what you may or may not know about Bob Remstein is that he has a long history with Temple Bethel in San Pedro. So I thought, first of all, it would be important for us to know a little bit more about you, Bob. Well, us meaning them, because you and I have had this conversation many times, and your connection with Temple Bethel, and kind of, how you came to find music as not only your passion, but hopefully as your career, obviously. So I was hoping you might share with the congregation a little bit.
Okay, well, way back in the old days, I was born outside of Philadelphia. So, any Philadelphia-ites here? All right, that's good. So we've already got some real music fans in the crowd. And after actually having my bar mitzvah back east, my dad was transferred, and we moved out here in the ancient time of 1975. And so, in fact, my mother still lives in the area, and we were members here for a little while, and I know I was here for high holiday services. And the one thing I can really point to is that my younger sister was bat mitzvahed here, and my high school, throwing a bunch of people together, rock band, performed for her bat mitzvah. And although I wasn't generally the singer, I did manage to sneak in Werewolves of London that night. So, yeah. I know anyone who was here can never forget that. So, anyway, by the time I went to college, I went to UCLA, and I was a music composition major there. Backing up a little bit, you're talking about how I sort of came to music. Music came to me. I mean, I don't know that I really was sitting around thinking, the fireman or keyboardist and a composer. I knew it early on. I was sitting at the piano at a very early age and doing something, I don't know what, and then started figuring out various things, and it's always been just very deep in my heart and soul. Interestingly, I don't know that I would have turned so much to Jewish music had it not been for the fact that in my second year of college, I didn't get back into the dorms. I was in the dorms the first year, and I don't know, I had won some scholarships, and I figured, lottery for the dorms, go figure, come on, who are we kidding? They were not kidding, actually. I didn't get in, and I had to figure out where I was going to live. And my dad, who had been a member of a Jewish fraternity back in the day, said, why don't you go over and knock on their door and see what's up? I was fraternity. Come on, that was Animal House, John Belushi. That wasn't for me. Really? I knocked on the door, and I'm Jewish, and, and my dad's like, they grabbed me, and they're like, in he goes. Like, wait, what just happened? But that turned out to be a blessing for a number of reasons. Several of my oldest friends were from there, one of whom was a young man named Sam Cohan, whose father, Baruch, or Barry Cohan, was for years the cantor up at Temple Emmanuel in Beverly Hills. Barry is now, guessing here, maybe 91, and still doing well, and still has a great voice. And Sam is nowadays a cantor and rabbi. He's a redhead, so you can't stop him from doing both jobs. And he's in Arizona doing that and has been there for a number of years. He was a fraternity brother of mine, and he was already doing overflow high holiday services. He heard me sitting around playing the piano, and he grabbed me evidently by the scruff of the neck and said, come on, we're doing this. And he really got me involved in learning about so much of the Jewish music. Actually, I won't embarrass him by having him stand, but one of my old roommates from the fraternity, Mr. Phil Hain, is here tonight. Thank you, Phil, for coming out. Great to see you. Phil, you know Sam, obviously, so he knows about, I'm not making this up. Sort of. But anyway, and that was pretty much it. And I went on doing a little bit of that with him, learning a lot about it. He then became the first full-time cantor at Congregation B'nai B'rith in Santa Barbara in the late 80s. Was there for 5 years. Even though I swore I was going to be, having a rock band and doing whatever else I was doing, I still went up there and did the services each year. And when he left to go become a rabbi, the man who took over from him, Cantor Mark Childs, heard one of the tapes from the previous year, and he's like, who is this accompanist? He is not getting out of my sight. And that, despite my attempts to escape, that was what happened. So, and I worked with him for years and years and years, and he was the one who started. Actually, I had written a couple of things, but there was one year we were going over the service for the next year, and some piece that didn't impress either one of us came along, and I said, is there no other better version of this text or whatever? And he said, I don't really know. He said, why don't you come up with one? And I'm like, what? Well, he said, actually, you know what? I've got one of the students is coming in for half an hour to work with me. Just sit here and see what comes to you. Something came to me. I showed him half an hour later. He's like, great, that's what we'll use. And that kind of started me thinking about that on a more regular basis.
So that actually brings me to kind of my next question, which is where do you usually find your inspiration? Obviously, when you're writing for liturgical music, there are certain modes that are important to we cantors in the Chazanut, but where do you find your inspiration to? Bob truly is prolific. Tonight we're presenting to you 12 pieces by Bob Remstein, and that is, I think even Bob was surprised when he started going through his binder the other day and going, wow, I've got a lot of music in here. But so where do you find that inspiration?
Well, there's no doubt it comes from the text, to begin with, because you can't just play around with it and assume that if it's a nice tune, everyone's happy and ignores the text. Having said that, there's a lot of different ways to make that work. And sometimes, just as an example, something like the Hashkivenu, it's a nighttime prayer, and it's, in a sense, protect us from whatever may be going on at night. And on a certain level, you feel, okay, I'm protected. But at one point in the piece, a text segment comes up that kind of suggests this could happen and that could happen. Now you have to be a little more specific, and so it gets a little more worried, I guess. I don't know. You get a little more frightened about what might be going on, and then it kind of envelops you back. And ultimately, we're going to be good until the morning.
When I listen to it, it's like, I feel like this blanket just keeps being pulled up further and further. And as the lusciousness of the Hashkivenu keeps coming back even deeper, it starts out with just a single line and then continues to just get more intricate and more beautiful. It's like this big, cozy comforter. I don't know if you all felt that, but I certainly do when I listen to it. So So Bob does find a lot of inspiration in the text, and I can attest to that, because after High Holy Days this year, Bob said, you know, there was this text that I really loved, and I'm going to go home and set it to music. And he literally has. I don't know if it's done yet, but he literally has. And some other things that I know that Bob has in the hopper right now is a beautiful musical that once he finishes it, we are going to debut it here at Temple Bethel in a beautiful way about Noah. And absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous music. It's so spectacular. I've had the opportunity to perform part of it at Valley Beth Shalom this past year. And and for those of you that thought that the schlep from the Valley to San Pedro was bad, it's a step up from Santa Barbara. It's
There's less traffic in that direction, but yeah, it's a long haul.
All right. So Bob, again, from the bottom of my heart and from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for being part of our family here and for sharing your beautiful talents, not just at the keyboard, but with pen, with ink and paper, and for filling this service tonight with such beautiful music. I do want to invite all of you that if there was any particular piece that touched you, that inspired you, that really stays with you, send me an email. Send me an email, because I would love to know from you what resonated with you tonight of Bob's music. I promise you I will forward them on to Bob as well, so that he can hear those beautiful accolades of his music and what resonated with you, because that's important to all of us. Whenever I bring a new piece of music to you, I hope you will all respond. And some of you respond right away. Andrew, I didn't like that one. And usually my answer is, let it season a little bit and see what happens. But tonight especially, I'd really love to hear from all of you what resonated with you, what you found beautiful. Go back on YouTube and hear them again if you like at Temple Bethel San Pedro live stream. You could listen to the entire service again and just be inspired by it all the time, as I am always inspired by this man to my right. And so thank you for sharing your music with us.
May I add
Please.
two quick notes? Kaner Davidson, is someone who is easy to get along with. He's friendly. He's got a smile on his face. I think if anything really bad ever happened, he'd still get that smile back on his face pretty soon. He's also, in case this is news to anyone, an extraordinary musician. He's an extraordinary musician. He is a singer who tackles anything with little trouble and sends it soaring into the clouds. So for me, those moments when he and I are doing a piece, even though we've done it a number of times, but it's still got a little bit of a twist of that particular night, it's like magic. And so I respond to what he does, and he responds to what I do. And yeah, it's wonderful working with you. So,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm going to send him back to his comfortable place.
Wait, I got one last thing.
One last thing, go ahead.
Yeah, and that is, and maybe
Oh.
you'll introduce them
Yes,
at
of
one
course.
point afterwards. This vocal quartet is extraordinary. They are just an amazing bunch. They tackled a pile of stuff. Granted, I know we were all humming it beforehand, but forget about that. They learned all this stuff right away, and they have just they've just done me proud, and I'm so grateful to each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. So that's a great lead-in to introduce our wonderful quartet before we share this next piece that Bob wrote from Kohelet, from Ecclesiastes, that speaks of all things having a season. But before we get to that season, let me introduce the seasonings. On soprano, you may recognize her also from the High Holy Days, because Jeanette Anastasia has been with us for now 2 years, I believe, correct? And on alto, a new face to us, but a face that I hope will keep popping up, Eileen Westerland. Wendland. I'm so close. So close. Sorry, Eileen. But Eileen Wendland. and a wonderful, wonderful addition to our cadre of incredible musicians that we have that come to Temple Bethel. On tenor, you recognize them both from tenor and from bass at different years in our High Holiday Choir. Stephen Anastasia, and yes, related. And, and on baritone tonight, he joined us this year for High Holy Days for the first time, and we really love this man, Chris Ring. So, so I'm going to invite them to stand back up, and we're going to share with you La Kolzman. A time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant
and a time to take up what is planted,
a time to give and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build.
All things have a season, all things have a time to be,
All things have a season,
and there's a time to every delight.
under the heavens.
A time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn
And a time to skip and dance,
a time to scatter stones, and a time to gather them,
a time to embrace, and a time to be far from embraces.
All things have a season, all things have a time to be, all things have a season, and there's a time to every delight under the heavens.
A time to sing, and a time to lose, a time to keep, and a time to pass away.
Passed away,
to
a time to
and a time to sow,
a time to sow,
and time to keep silence,
And a time to speak. All things have a season, all things have a time to be,
all things have a season,
and there's a time to every delight under the heavens.
a time to love, and a time to hate, a time of war, and a time of peace. A time of peace.
Under the
to invite Elliot Brunner, representing our board of directors, to please come forward and share with us some announcements this evening as we begin to come to the end of our service.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Wow, I have to say, I absolutely flabbergasted how great the music is tonight. Thank you, Cantor Elon. Thank you, this wonderful quartet, and thank you, Bob Remstein, for your wonderful music and playing. Just absolutely fabulous. I am Elliot Brunner. It's my pleasure to be here tonight representing your board of directors. There will be an opening from Sisterhood, and we thank them for that tonight. And remember to visit the gift shop following our service. We have a lot of great activities coming up, and we hope to see you at many of them. Please have a look at our flyer for a complete listing. Next Wednesday, January 3rd, is our first ever Lunch and Learn Taoist lecture. Rabbi Firestone will be speaking about anti-Semitism and Islamophobia. Lunch will be served at 11:45, followed by his lecture. Tickets are $25 in advance or $30 at the door, and that includes the lunch, lecture, and dessert. Please RSVP to Shoni in the finance office. Also, make your reservations for the next Songs in the Salon concert with Cantors Elon, Davidson, Sarah Hess, Lizzie Weiss, Rachel Goodman, and Billy Tiem. The concert is Saturday evening, January 6th, hosted at the home of Randy and Bruce Ross. Join us for an elegant evening of pop to Broadway music. Reservations and payments may be made through Shoni in the finance office. Lastly, don't forget to purchase your tickets for our Sisterhood's Jay Leno Comedy Night on Saturday, January 28th. You'll enjoy a night of laughs at the Hermosa Beach Comedy Club. Tickets are $30 each, and you may send a check to the Temple office. The RSV date is coming up pretty quickly. It's January 5th. And two special reminders. There's a new Temple directory that is in preparation. If you have any changes in email address, cell phone, addition, cell phone, let Carrie in the office know. And finally, we are forming discussion groups to begin our search for our new interim rabbi. Group meeting schedules will be published in the next few weeks. If you would like to participate, please contact one of our presidents. They have a brand new email. It's very easy, presidents@bethlsp.org. Thank you very much. What?
President singular. One president.
Presidents plural, right?
No, singular.
Single. I've got that wrong. Disregard what I said, president@bethlsp.org. Have a happy and healthy 2018 and Shabbat Shalom on this last Shabbat of 2017. Shabbat Shalom.
Our concluding prayers begin with Aleinu on page 586. Please stand if you're able.
עלינו לשבח לדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר ראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ
ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד.
You can be seated. So we turn to page 595 and hear these words which are most often spoken, sung tonight and set to a beautiful composition. There are stars.
יש כוכבים שאורם מגיע ארצה, רק כאשר הם עצמם עבדו בינם. יש אנשים שסביב זכרם מאיר, כאשר הם עצמם אינם עוד בתוכם. אורות אלה המבהיקים בחשכת הליל, הם שמראים לאדם את הדרך, את הדרך. הם שמראים לאדם את הדרך, את הדרך. There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light. Long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us as we live our days. These are the ways we remember, as we live our days. These are the ways we remember, we remember, we remember.
We remember those who have died in the last 7 or 30 days, or those who died at this season in years past, whose names we share tonight with love and reverence. If you're remembering someone this Shabbat, when I read that person's name, please stand and remain standing until all the names have been shared. Then together we will stand as one community and recite Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish, on page 598. We continue to observe Shaloshim, the first 30 days of remembrance, for Brenda Magid, Flory Ornstein, Ruth Commandy, and Ann Kaner Roth. And we remember those whose Yortzeiten fell during this week and whom we remember by name tonight. Jennifer Alexander, James L. Anderson, Gloria Matlis Brandt, Madeline Burton, Milton Cohen, Charles Colley, Gertrude Resnick Doyle, Harvey Epstein, Francis Finder, Jacob Freger, Arlene Frumis, Pearl Reifel-Gollin, Merrill Grossman, Celia Grove, Eugene Horn, Kenneth Norman Landy, Joseph Lerner, Betty Levin, Buddy Lewis, Irene Lonke, Hal Loveman, Victor Matlis, Irving Isidore Miller, Sylvia Muchnick, Hyman Mudrick, Frank Newman, James Ortner, David Rosen, Oscar Salk, Bernard Sampson, William Schloss, Eileen Silverberg, Faye Udowitz, Catherine Walter, Steve Weiner, Ben Weitzman, Joyce Wayne, May Wolf, and Alex Zarki. If you are remembering someone tonight and I neglected to share the name, please stand and share the name aloud. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for blessing. Let's all stand if you are able as we join together on page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, v'agalal v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitfa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudusha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran le'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, Amen.
Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru amen. Shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru amen. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru amen. Shabbat shalom.